Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Sophiology, or my pod, if I put this on the podcast, Sophiology podcast. But my name is sophiacianciulli, and if you don't know, I talk a lot about a lot of different things. I talk about spirituality and growth and healing and sobriety and relationships and just like my philosophies on life. I change this every time, but I talk about everything. Whatever's on my heart, whatever I think is important to share, whatever I've been working through, I just think it's beneficial. So for me, and if it helps somebody, then that's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so welcome. Hopefully I'm in a okay spot. I like it though. This is like, all the lighting in my house hits very weird. So I'm always going room to room and seeing what works. And I just feel like this works. I like this. Even though there's stuff going on, I like that. So I'm happy with it. And I like the lighting with the red. It's cute. And the reason not that there is a reason, because we should always be beautiful, but today's topic is going to be beauty. So I recorded this already and I was like, you are talking too much about absolutely nothing. So hold on. Let me tell you how to be beautiful. But, that was a good chug. So I had thought about this because it really hit me. So much has been hitting me like a ton of bricks lately. And I genuinely feel like I am stepping into a new era because I reached a moment in time where I got fed up. And I feel like there comes a point in every change, like any point in life where you're changing or transitioning, I think you hit a wall where you're just fed up with where you are. And I think I got fed up with myself because I was like, you are not trying hard enough. Like, you are not using the things that you have. You're being lazy and being flippant. You're not going to the gym the way you should. You're not eating the way that you should. You're not trying with your makeup. You're not trying with your hair. You're like letting your roots grow. Jesus. Words have been really hard the last week. But letting your roots grow in, not coloring it. Like, I just had gotten lazy. And I recognize the difference between perfection and like effort. And I just realized there is such a difference in the way we feel, in the way that we look, in the way that we create and present ourselves, the energy that flows as a woman when you genuinely put effort into being a woman. Because since I was a little girl, I love to play, I love to dress up, I love to be a star and perform. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I love anything that makes me feel like I am expressing all that zhuzh that's in me. And I think what a beautiful way to do that is through, of course, our voice, of course, through, expressing ourselves in our interaction in the beauty with life by giving love, receiving love, by cooking, by, being in nature, by playing. Like, there is so much beauty in this life from a young age, singing, like expressing, like all of those are wonderful ways of expressing the beauty of life. But one of the greatest gifts that we have as women is our physical beauty, is our aura and our energy. And I think that there is so much power in caring what you look like, and so much power in trying to maximize the things about yourself that you have going for you, no matter what that is. And I recognize I wasted a lot of time trying to maximize things. And I always say it's the people, places, and things. I always say it's the relationship, it's where you live, it's your environment, it's, how are the things around you making you feel? Do you feel vibrant? Like, you are going to look a reflection of what you're living. And I recognize that when I was the happiest, I always looked the best. It's like a point blank period. That's always what happens. And when I was eating well and nourishing myself. And so I kind of put just like 2 and 2 together, because I would go through phases in life and I was like, there's definitely phases of life where you clearly do not care, and it's not me bullying myself. It's just like, there's also too much compassion sometimes. Like, sometimes, for me at least, what gets me through life is being kind of harsh and critical and disciplining myself. And some people might think that that's like too harsh. And sometimes I'm like, okay, you got to give yourself some grace. But I realize it's like a great container for me to get things done. And it's like me being the parent I never had, in the sense that, Like, it's the type of parenting I think I needed. And I did have it, but like you grow up, you don't have discipline. No one's telling you what to do. So if I can't rely on myself to sometimes coach myself and be like, you need to do this. You're being lazy. Your life feels like this because of this. Like, if I can't do that with myself, then, and I'm always being like, no, it's okay. It's really easy to form trash habits because I'm literally just giving myself leeway to do whatever. So I notice that I'm giving myself too much leeway or grace when there's so many examples in my life, but it's like, if I'll think back to a couple of years ago, I feel like I looked my worst in every way when I was drinking a lot. Like when I had first gotten sober and I was 21 and I was in college, I had lost my mind. I was so bloated. I didn't feel good. Every day I was waking up after drinking and then kept drinking. And I didn't spend any time nourishing myself spiritually. I didn't nourish my body. I didn't eat well. I was having sex with people that I shouldn't be having sex with. I was like totally just throwing myself around town and not caring what I did to my body. And that reflected in my energy, how I felt, and reflected in what I looked like. It didn't matter what makeup I put on. It didn't matter what I wore. I didn't love myself. Fast forward to all the times in my life when I was loving myself, that reflected outwardly. I looked more beautiful. I felt more beautiful. I wanted to make better choices for myself. So you can start at whatever end of the spectrum, but I think when it comes to physical beauty, that is such a reflection of your inner beauty. And it goes to tribal days and it goes to the tribes left in the world. Like I think of all my anthropology classes I took in like college and how I was so like entranced by those, because it's amazing how women in every culture, first of all, women are so strong and powerful, but they remain beautiful no matter what their resources are. Like there's women in so many tribes around the world or different countries or different, ethnicities and groups and cultures that express themselves in so many different ways and adorn themselves with piercings, with crowns, with tattoos, with all of these different, and for us more recent, it's like we kind of adorn ourselves in different way. It's always jewelry and gems and all of these things, or it can be like you take care of yourself by working and going to the gym and moving and nurturing and loving people, like eating well, eating things that you enjoy. Like it's just culturally, women are always embracing those beautiful parts of ourselves. We're always collecting things. We're always, trying to make life more beautiful and taking care of the details that a lot of people aren't noticing. And that's why there's this powerful spiritual aura that emanates off of us. And it's so funny that I'm talking about this because I didn't know what I was going to talk about and I knew I wanted to make a video. And I was like, wait, this has been so in my heart lately. Like I feel so much more beautiful than I felt in a long time, in and out. And I feel inspired to put some of that creative energy that I've been talking about into like music and, creating and changing things and all of that. I'm like, I need to pour more of this energy into how I feel about myself and like physically what I look like. Cause I realized I was like, I wear a lot of the same things. And I'm going to lose a point. This always happens. But I was like, I realize I'm always like wearing the same things with holes on them, if you know me, I'm a mess. Like stains on things, like from food, from, I don't know what, holes, rips, because I'm always in action. So something's always ripping or breaking or getting a stain. Like it's just me and my character. And so I was like, that's not really an excuse. So like, you really could try a little harder. You could get the new things that you need. Like you don't have to do it all the time, but me in my heart, I'm like, I want to feel good about myself. Like, I don't like when I feel like trash, because I do have like a trashy side. I think that we all do. But I was like, I would like to embrace my like beautiful, classy princess side a little bit more, because that's what I feel like. And that's who I feel like I really am at the core of me. And the little girl me feels like that. So I would like to present that more. Although I embrace all the sides of me, right? Because there's a time and place for everything. But my point of this conversation is just how powerful beauty is and the things that it can get you and how to gain it naturally and just how to nourish yourself and love yourself enough to present yourself in a certain kind of way. But I was talking about tribally, how this comes from from forever. The forever of femininity has always been centered in beauty, the forever of nature. That's why I think it is Mother Nature, right? Like Father God, but Mother Wisdom, Mother Nature. I feel like she just knows beauty. Like, she just knows beauty. And I think that being a woman is part of playing and exploring and expressing. And again, using that creative energy, that when you're not putting it in the wrong places, you can direct it outwardly towards where it needs to go. And I think that just being able to express yourself in a way that feels beautiful is so healthy. And honestly, I think we need that a little bit of validation. As much as we want to say you should be your only validation, like, yes, but also we're an interpersonal species. But we are always going to need that connection from one another. And part of that connection is validation and is love, and whatever way that is to you. So I think that the more beautiful that you look and the more that you pour into yourself, one, you feel better. So you look better, you feel better, you're expressing yourself better. You're more receptive and open to love because you feel good. Like, there's just a feeling that comes from pouring into yourself that feels so good compared to when you don't. Because you can walk into a room and know, yes, it's me. Hello, yes, I'm here. Versus like walking into a room with like your head down and hiding and feeling gross, or like feeling like you smell. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, we think we've all had times in our life where we felt like we smelled, and it's very embarrassing. And like, I have smelly feet. Okay, let me tell you something. I have smelly feet. And I hate it. But it's been my whole life, no matter what, socks or what. Now, I am a flight attendant. Okay, I'm a flight attendant. I can't wear socks. I have to wear tights with my heels. Do you know how often I need to buy new tights and new heels? Like, so many times, twice, bi-monthly. So, because I have smelly feet. So I just wanted to add that to say, like, too, sometimes there's just things that make you feel insecure. Like, that's one of my insecurities. It's probably not what you thought, but it is. And I have to put extra work. I need to buy odor eaters. I need to put baking soda in my shoes. I need to buy things more frequently. Like, I have to put that in my budget. Maybe double sock. I don't know. It's just genetics. I get it from my dad. So, but I just wanted to say that is also like those little things that make you insecure. You want to change those things so that you can walk into a room not with your head down, and you can walk into a room and feel good and powerful. And to be, that's what I was going to say. Now I remember, I have my daily book that I read every day. And she was talking about from like women were created at the climax of like God's creation. Like, God made God made man. And then what the heck? Y'all, I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. But God made man and then made woman and said, that's enough. That's enough. And so I just want to say, though, in all seriousness, like, women really are so powerful. We are spiritual, we are beautiful, we are energetic, we are magnetic, we are intelligent, we are hardworking, we are strong, we give birth, we give life, we create, like, we give the world something beautiful to look at and marvel at. We are kind, for the most part, to children and animals. Like, there is just something beautiful to the elderly, to people who need us. Like, there is just something in femininity that is so beautiful and sacred. And I would urge you to take that responsibility with care, which is why I always talk about purity. It's why I talk about, and I don't feel like I've portrayed the message in the way that I wanted to yet, because I was kind of just sharing. But I think in conjunction with beauty, right? Like, in the end of the day, like, separate from just physical beauty, we want to also live a beautiful life, right? Like, we want life to look beautiful and feel beautiful. I want experiences to happen in my life where I'm like, I got to live a lot of good experiences. I got to see beauty. I got to have a beautiful family. I got to have beautiful growth and lessons and learning. I made beautiful mistakes. I look at beautiful nature and I spend time in her and I honored her and I loved her, and that is beautiful. I have a beautiful relationship with God and with my spirituality and with my soul and my spirit. I feel beautiful. I feel like I was born with gifts, and I feel like I nurture them, and that is amazing. I feel like my gifts and my talents are beautiful, and using that as like an incredible contribution to the world. Like, those are the things that we essentially strive for, and we want to feel purposeful. But I think also we're here to, at the end of the day, like at the end of life, it's the feeling that you can kind of attribute to all of this, of course, marvel, of course, like maybe there's some regret, like whatever the end of your life looks like. But I would like to look back on my life and see so much beauty. Like I would like to cry from the beauty that I filled my life with, the snapshots in my mind that only I know, the things that I got to experience and wear and smell like and taste. Like I want that to be like a memory when I die, the love I gave. Like I would like to know I loved with all of my heart. I would like to know that I received loved. Really, words are so fun. But I would really like to know, and I would like to know that I fought for myself spiritually with everything in me. I would like to look back and be like, that was a beautiful journey. And so women, we are this dynamic conjunction of all these different elements and experiences and parts of nature that God wanted to express beauty through us with. Because I think every woman really is beautiful. Like, despite, you know, we all have our differences, and I think some people can be ugly inside, but that's not their fault. Like, I really think that that just comes from life, and it can be worked on, but it will reflect through you. And so I think as women, the more that we pour effort and energy into our beauty and what we look like, I think that we will receive more beautiful experiences. We will feel good. We will get, feeling good as a basis is such an amazing tool for literally anything. And so it really, beauty is this whole spectrum, and it shows itself in all these different facets and factors of life. And it's up to us. We get to choose what beauty we bring into our lives. Like, we're never going to completely escape, I don't think, like the follies of existence and certain, you know, things about life that suck. But we also, excuse me, I'm literally like belching. Oh my gosh, I've never said belching before. Burping, literally burping. But I think that, you know, anyway, to make a long story short, beauty is very important and special and sacred. And so I also want to tell you some ways that I feel like will make you more beautiful, feel more beautiful, and some of the things that I've learned over the last few years that have made me more beautiful. So I think the very, very first thing that I would say is inner work and healing. If you have things, and this can apply to everything, again, like I always say, you will not feel good if you are not in a situation that is good for you. So that seriously like God did a deep cleaning of my life in the last year and a half. I tell you guys all the time because I mean it. Like my life, I tell you to walk away from things because I have, and when I wouldn't, God took them. So if I was having doubts about things and I was like, I don't know if this is for me, and I'm questioning it, and then God is like, you know what? I've waited on you too long. Like, I'm going to take it. And then you're sitting there and you're like, what the heck? But then, and it feels rough and you feel like you had the carpet pulled from underneath you. But realistically, it's like God's like, go, like you're meant for more. You want more. You want to experience more. This is stealing from you. This is stealing your light. So I think the first step to being more beautiful is inner work. And that inner work can be so many things. But I think it's like you have an addiction. Like when I went to rehab, I got so much prettier because I wasn't drinking anymore. I felt better. I was therapizing. I was growing, I was healing. Like that beauty emanated through me so much. And then my confidence grew, and then my self-esteem grew. And you need those things to be beautiful. It's not enough to just look pretty. It's like you need to emanate like love and happiness. And the best way to do that is to be happy with your life. And so you can be so beautiful, but if you're not happy in your heart, like that will show. And so, you know, and I can see that because I can see so many times in my life where I wasn't happy. My heart was broken. I didn't have like the love in me that I was used to having. Like it showed. I looked broken. So inner work is important because if you're struggling in a bad relationship or with people around you who aren't good for you, if you're struggling with substances, if you're struggling with resting, if you're not resting, if you're overworked, like you got to do the inner work and do a cleanup of your life and close open windows. And it takes time for sure, but God is ushering us into like new seasons. And if we're holding on with everything in us to the things that aren't for us, it's like it's gonna bleed you dry. And so that's why it's like, it's always better to walk away from things before they bleed you dry. And I can see now in retrospect, everything I thought I lost was such a gift. And it's still like, I think I've really just recently gotten over deep hurt. Like, I don't think it's 100% gone, but I've done a lot of work on deep hurt, on friendship breakups, on real breakup, on family like hurt, on childhood. Like, I just did with my drinking, with alcohol, with all types of things. Like, I went through some serious healing, and that takes time. But I want to say that every time that you make a better choice, every time you build self-trust, every time you let go of something, even though it hurts, every time that you choose better for yourself and put in the work to do better in the future, you start to glow a little bit more. Every time you speak life into yourself, every time you pray to God, every time that like you surrender, it's like so much beauty surges into you. And with that too, I want to follow up my number 2 is, and back with that too, again, inner work can be like therapy, walking, like I just told you to walk away, but then also after, you have to do therapy, journal, like pray, have a relationship with God, have a good relationship with yourself, eat well, nourish your body, which is another part of this. Like, truly give yourself what it is that you need and start working through those things. Don't push them away and act like they don't exist, but work through them, because then a new glow, a new light can come through you and new things can birth. And the more that you're letting stuff flow through you, the more beautiful you will be, because you have more creative energy, you have more confidence, you have more joy to play and collect and dress up and try harder with your makeup and have the energy to go to the gym. Like, you know, whatever that is, you'll have more energy to give yourself good experiences that literally you wear your experiences. Like, I see how much more beautiful I am when I'm living a life where I'm doing stuff that makes me happy versus suffering and struggling. And again, like, it's just different. It's just something I noticed. So it really is something to take into account. But then anyway, my second thing was going to be worry less, because I am a worrier. Okay. And I know how people feel about astrology, and I know I love Jesus, but I'm sorry, I still call myself a Virgo. I'm not getting rid of that, okay? I have 4 planets in Virgo, maybe more, actually 5, because my North Node is in Virgo. There's so much Virgo in my chart. I will never not strive to be a perfectionist, and I will never not have ambition, and I will never not like do the most, do things most people wouldn't. And yes, it's exhausting, and the details of life bog me down for sure. But I use them as tools to kind of like, you know, grow. But something I've learned a lot lately is like, there's just some things I can't control, and my life is a lot better when I stop trying to control everything. When I do what I can, right? I do what I can. But if I feel like stuff is driving me crazy, I gotta take a break. I gotta allow myself to enjoy life a little bit more. I gotta play. I gotta just stop thinking about it for a minute, like literally giving myself like a day or 2 days to just like, it's fine. And then suddenly it's like you have a newfound energy to tackle things. I feel like that really alleviates worry. And so being stress-free and worry-free, and that goes back to being in situations you shouldn't be in, that will make you ugly, because you will literally be consuming the energy of people around you, and it makes you uglier. We are like a sum of the people around us, okay? So we are a sum of it in mind, body, spirit. So taking that seriously is important, because I heard it so many times, and then God really like did a clean sweep, and I was like, okay, I understand. Like, no hate, nothing. I just completely understand where I was going, and this is not me, because there's also things in me that were wrong and not good, but I also, and needed to be worked on. But I was like, if I keep spending my time in these situations that aren't aligned with where I'm trying to go, who I'm trying to be, what I want to look like, none of that, all it's doing is hindering me. So again, that goes back to the worry-free thing, and just not caring so much. Like, you got a God that's got it under control. So sitting down and praying for half an hour, giving yourself the time to like just rest for a moment. So many pieces fall together by themselves. You do not need to worry. Like, life has it under control. We are carrying more than we are meant to. And, you know, tackle things when you have the energy, when it feels good. Don't do it all the time just because you feel like a million things need your attention. And that's a PSA to me. because I do be running around. Like I had to take 5 deep breaths at the beginning of this because I did not slow down. But I do take time for myself, and I do like slow down, and I think I just work in spaces like that, especially again as women. Our cycle changes throughout the month, and you know, we have different peaks of energy and emotion, so you got to operate with that. And so then the third thing I wanted to talk about is what we consume, and that I'll start at the basics with like vegetables, nutrients, meat, all of that. So I was a vegan for a long time. I've tried a lot of different things to be healthy. I still don't really know how I feel about eating meat, because I know that with eating meat and proper meat, for me, I do feel like it makes me gain weight, but I also feel like it gives me more energy. I'm getting enough calories. I realized before I probably wasn't getting enough calories, and then I would eat a bunch of snacks and it just wouldn't be a good balance. But eating things that are good for you, like there's so many foods, because I make a juice every morning. So this I love because I learned from I always quote her because that girl, she taught me so much. She raised me. Alexis talked about her beet juice. So it was beets, aloe vera, coconut water, turmeric, black pepper. I think that was it. And then I started remixing that because I've always been like a juice in the morning girl. I do now at the moment aloe vera, pineapple, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, cayenne. I have a green powder, coconut water, and then other random stuff like 5 mango, or if I have celery or cucumber, like I just put that in there. But that's the first thing I like to put in my body in the morning after my coffee, because that's just like the first thing I ingest. I know it's not great, but we can't be perfect. And also, I'm just sorry. It's just who I am. Like, I'm not changing. I can't change everything about myself. Just kidding. Because I'm always on the path to being better. And I heard that you're not supposed to drink coffee, but honestly, let me have some things, because if I don't have coffee, I really don't know. I'll truly be tweaking. Or quite the opposite. I like caffeine. So anyway, next. That's a great thing. I eat eggs every morning. I eat eggs and avocado every morning. Sometimes a sausage, sometimes bacon, sometimes potatoes. Usually a variation of that as my breakfast. And then for dinner, I always make a bunch of different things. I like to, at the moment, I'm eating like quinoa, black beans, tofu, avocado, cilantro, cucumber, tomato, hummus, and it's just like a little bowl moment. But I always do bowls with like different stuff. And then I like just sardines, steak, and kidney beans and avocado. I like that. Pasta, broccoli. I eat dates with peanut butter and dark chocolate. Like still having things that I enjoy, because when I'm on the road, I eat so much different stuff. Like when I'm traveling for work, it's like I'm traveling, so I want to try the food there, and I'm not going to deprive myself of that. And I think once I've gone like more places and I don't feel like I always have to be trying things, it'll be different. But when I'm home, I like to balance that. That way I'm at least nourished and de-bloated and detoxed of like any trash that I ate. But I think all food is amazing. Like I love to eat. I've said this before. I love food. I think it's a beautiful part of life. But I also started noticing, I was like, okay, I have a habit of like gaining little fluffs sometimes. I gain weight sometimes because I really like food and I like sweet stuff. That's like my fave. So I noticed that like sometimes I just need to eat better things, but the things that you eat illuminate through you. So I think that if you're eating nutrients and things that are great for you, sweet potatoes are great for your skin, like that will show through you as well. Like you emanate the things that you eat. But also eating things that you love, I think also makes you more beautiful. I'm a proponent of that. So I believe that if you're eating a pizza, and this might sound nuts to people, but I don't really care. Eating like a pizza or buffalo wings, or you're eating a meal with your friends, right? And you guys are just enjoying. Like, let me tell you something. Like, and going out to eat with your friends and laughing, like that is so healing for your soul. And I feel like I never wake up and look crazy. I feel like I wake up and I'm like, I look more glowing and happy, because that is a beautiful thing. And I think if you're eating things with love and joy in your heart, it will digest and metabolize like that. And again, too, like if I'm traveling and I'm eating noodles and eating pasta and eating all these different things and breakfast and French toast, like good coffee is like, it doesn't mean that that's my every meal. Like it's still balanced, but eating things that I love and that bring me joy. Like I love a spicy chicken biscuit. I love potatoes. I love a burger, and I eat them all often. But I always kind of eat something with protein or with vegetables or with fruit. Like there's always some kind of balance there. I used to be much more like if I'm going to eat bad food, I'm going to eat bad food. But now as an adult, I've found more balance in my meals. But that just keeps things moving and natural and normal, because you're still not just eating like trash. And I don't eat a lot of like super processed, like really bad chips. Like I try, oh my God, why did I make that noise? But I try to avoid those things as much as I can. And I love chocolate. Like, I'm sorry, I do. And cake. Like, I don't know. I like to find balance in it, but I believe that if you're eating it with genuine love in your heart and you're happy and you're enjoying the experience, I think it can do nothing but benefit you. Again, because you are the sum of everything you consume. So when I talk about what you consume at first with food, like that metabolizes into your cells. Like this is a pro tip. Fasting, whether you want to fast just for your health or spiritually is a whole nother conversation. That is a beautiful thing for your soul and your spirit, and that of course will emanate out of you. But also it's really great because you're not eating anything. So like I like 3-day fasts. Maybe I've done 3 or 4 in the last few months. I don't want to lie, but I've done a few and I lost count. And some day fast, some 2-day fast. Like I fasted a lot in the last few months. That is amazing because you're literally breaking down the old cells. I always call it hypertrophy, and now I realize it's not that. I think it's autophagy. I'm sorry, autophagy. I don't know how to say that in a way that sounds intelligent, but I think I know what it is. I think it's that. And you reach a certain point, I believe it's around like 18 to 24 hours, and your old cells start dying, and then the new cells start being recreated. And so if you fast for a few days, all of the old stuff, and that can be just physically, but also spiritually, starts dying because it has nothing to feed on anymore. And then when you finally do eat, you feel more motivated to, and you're just smart because you don't want to break it with something that's going to make you sick, but you break it with like juices and eggs and vegetables and avocado, like light things, and you break it with just something nourishing. And you feel brand new, and you're giving your body that new nutrients and that light, and like you are just way more light after that. And then spiritually you feel amazing. Spiritually, hopefully you've moved through some things, and I think that it really is an incredible thing. And you're doing work that you don't even know. Like I think God knows, but we don't know all of it, all of the power that is. Oh, it's starting to get dark. Let me move up just like a tad. But oh man, I've been talking a long time, haven't I? But yeah, I do really genuinely believe that is one of the most powerful things that you could do in terms of just beauty and health and taking care of yourself. And also consumption, what you watch, who you listen to. Again, who you are around. Like, I'm sorry, you wear that as well. Like you wear everything. You wear your workplace. Like where you work, you're wearing it. Like, it emanates off of you. If you're doing things that don't make you happy, you're wearing it. Like I remember working in the sun on a club and all these wealthy people around me, and I just got to be cute and have fun and frolic. Like that emanated off of me in my aura. Like the job I have now, I think kind of emanates and helps me to be more like expressive in who I am and certain emotions. So if you're not happy in life, again, that goes to the beginning, you are the sum of those things. So what you're watching, if you're always on TikTok and just watching, like there's so much stuff you could be watching. There's so much stuff. And I do believe that like, depending on who you listen to, what you're consuming, it makes you uglier. Because if you're not listening to the right people, if you have the wrong people in your ear, if you have the wrong people in your eye gates and your ear gates, like you're consuming stuff that can completely plant a seed and shift the way that you think and the way that you express yourself and the way you feel about yourself. It's very easy. So when I say that, I just read things that make you more beautiful in the sense that you're learning something. Watch things where you're learning something. Like I think a major goal for me has been like, and I've reached it for when I'm doing well, this isn't hard for me because I don't even have a taste for these things. Like I really only have a taste for like reality TV when I'm not in a good headspace. Like once in a while, I'm sorry, I grew up on the Kardashians, so I do like the Kardashians, and the same thing with the Housewives. Like I do like them once in a while because they are beautiful women. There's stuff to learn from them, and they're intelligent. There's a lot. If you pay attention, like reality TV can teach you a lot. But some of it is really like trash, and I feel like I spent a lot of time watching that stuff when I wasn't feeling good about myself, and it kind of just perpetuated it. And I think when I'm feeling good about myself, I'm more into, okay, this is random. I watch a lot of athletic documentaries. Like I watch documentaries about athletes. I don't care what sport it is. Like I love seeing their mindset and how they show up, and like a lot, especially like the recent ones, like Starting Five, I was like, these boys are so fresh. Like I love their outfits. And so I was like, they're putting in that effort. And same thing with the Kardashians. Like I like to see those things, like they're inspiring for me. But I like to watch things that are making me smarter and making me feel inspired and making me feel like I'm loving myself. And so I just think that that's very important as well. Sorry, this one little piece of hair is driving me nuts. But I really like, consuming that stuff because again, I feel like it teaches me something and it's permeating my subconscious. And so it's either like bringing me forward or bringing me backwards. So I like to watch successful people. I like to watch like cooking shows because I think that's a cool use of your creativity. I like watching nature documentaries because I think the more you learn about life, the more you have a love and appreciation for it. And then you have this knowledge and you're like I watched a documentary the other day, Life on Earth. I didn't know, and this might sound not intelligent. Maybe I knew when I was younger, but at this point in time, with all the spiritual knowledge I have, I think a lot of like the science and stuff had been pushed to the wayside. And I've just kind of been like very like da-da-da. Watching that, I was genuinely so, I was like, I did not know we had five mass extinctions. Like we only ever talk about the meteorite. That's all we ever talk about. And I was like, whoa. And I felt like, wow, knowing this is like important. And this is that doesn't sound intelligent, but I value knowledge. I value wisdom. Like I love to learn, and I'm totally willing to admit that there's just a lot of knowledge to have in this world. It's very hard to carry it all. And we all have our things that speak to us and grab our attention and that we love and that we feel attracted to. And I love science. I think science is so interesting. I've always done well with it. I love science. I've never been a social studies or a history girl, not me. But I like to learn. I still like to learn. So, it's nice as an adult to read different stories and hear different things and perspectives because I feel like that makes you more beautiful because you're more tolerant and worldly and understanding and you can think for yourself. I think it's a really beautiful thing to be intelligent. I think that that's probably one of the most beautiful things to be as a woman is to be a smart woman, who knows who she is, who knows her value, who believes in herself, who believes in what she's capable of doing, who believes in the people around her and loves the people around her, who has seen the world, who learns about the world, who asks questions, who learns about other people, who is an open, like has an open mind, and like has a soul. So I think that whatever your soul draws you to, like your soul, not just like your eyes scrolling, but like what does your soul want to learn about? Like what have you been saying you want to do? Just the first step in any of that. Like there's so many little things this last year that because I started thinking like, okay, I just want to learn more about this thing. So I'm going to consume content about this. The inspiration and the ideas come. I watch documentary about artists or athletes and then I get inspired to do something else. Like that pop star documentary literally forced me and propelled me to go back, like Cat's Eye, go back and start making music again. I was like, I'm being freaking lazy. Like it made me realize I was being lazy in pouring my energy and creativity into being the woman I've always wanted to be. And so, I think to sum all of this up, because there's more I could say, but I think this is a good basis. Like beyond the beauty treatments, beyond like, trying to, there's a lot of natural remedies, but I wanted to end it with that too. I wanted to share some of my natural things. I know these aren't like secrets or anything, but we are in a consumption era. Okay. Somebody's always telling you to buy something and listen, I struggle. I think I said this at the beginning of this or when I re-recorded it, but before I re-recorded it, I sometimes struggle on investing in myself because I like to thrift for my clothes. I think they're cooler. I think they're different and I feel good about what I'm doing to the earth. But like I'm recycling, but also sometimes it's nice to treat yourself, and waxes, massages, a new outfit that you want from somewhere nice, like investing in nicer clothing, even like Went the One Way. Even Went the One Way is a great option. Even Rent the Runway is a great option. Very inexpensive, and you can rent designer clothes. I love that. I got both my prom dresses from there, and they're very cute and different. Actually, maybe just one prom dress. I don't remember. But then I had the subscription, loved it. But investing in yourself once in a while reminds you that you're worth it, because especially if you want to be with somebody who's generous and takes care of you, it's very hard if you don't take care of yourself. Like, I feel like I was in a relationship once that like taught me so much about taking care of myself, because at the time I didn't know how to take care of myself. And then I would kind of be reminded, like he would do nice things for me and I would be like, oh wow, like I should be doing that for myself, shouldn't I? And so you want to, like, I was a feral girl at many moments of my life, but always tried hard, always was beautiful, little feral. Because actually what inspired this as well, I'm probably going on a tangent and not finishing what I was saying before, but also what I wanted to say as well as part of what like inspired me for this was thinking about when I was in middle school and high school. Well, I'm going to watch this back and be like, you literally didn't finish so many of your little points that you had made. But anyway, I was thinking about like middle school me and high school me, and even probably elementary school. I like the secondary elementary school. I think I was straightening my hair. But I would literally get up every day at 5 a.m. Like I was at 5 a.m. in middle school. We went to at 7, high school at 6:30. I was up. Okay, I was up at the crack of dawn, 4:45, 5 in the morning, doing a full beat, doing my hair, okay, outfit laid out the night before. I was serving every single day. Like you were not going to catch me not one day without a look. The look was when I looked bad. Like if I decided I was going to wear sweatpants, that was the look. So I was like, when did I lose that? Because I've gotten lazy. And so that kind of inspired this. And so I was thinking about, she was always expressing herself. I forgot to say that when I was telling my little stories in the beginning about how I like to dress up. But I've always expressed myself and I put in the effort to do it. So all of these things, it's like your beauty is a reflection of not only your self-love, but your discipline, which is a great form of self-love. I say it all the time. I think discipline is one of the greatest forms of self-love, because when I'm disciplined and I'm able to tell myself no and parent myself properly and nourish my body with the right things, I'm so sorry it's getting dark. But if I'm able to provide that to myself, then I think that is a wonderful form of self-love, and I will wear that. I will show that, because it takes discipline to eat well and to go to the gym and to wake up every day and get ready. It takes discipline to speak kindly to yourself, to love others, to not act in a certain way when you're not feeling your best. It takes discipline to spend time with God, to read whatever that looks like to you. Like for me, it takes discipline to read my Bible. It takes discipline to pray. It takes discipline. Sometimes, it does, you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. God, there's a lot you've seen. But sometimes it takes discipline to pray. It takes discipline to go to work or to have a business and to make money so that you can even afford to treat yourself well. So the way I'm speaking, and I keep remembering things that I forgot to say, so I'm really sorry, but hopefully you still got what you needed. But yeah, discipline I think is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you need it. And I realized anything in my life that has ever gone well was because I put discipline into it. I stopped doing the things that weren't working, and it permeated my whole, like I was never a gym girl. I hated the gym. And it has changed me from the inside out. I'm not even kidding. Like that is a safe space for me. I sweat. I feel happy. I feel good. I'm listening to my music. I have an excuse to wear cute workout stuff. I feel strong. Like I started doing that maybe 2.5 years ago. I think it was when I first quit my vape, because I had so much energy that had to go somewhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So the gym helped me so, so much. And now it's like, I can't imagine my life without it. Like I was like a 5-6 days heavy lifting days a week. And now I'm more like 2-3, like full body. I do all my lifting in one day, which is still probably the equivalent of 6 days. But I just like to go in there and just like tear it up, but I break it up more into like 3 days. And then I was doing Pilates for a while, stretching, like those things make you feel strong and beautiful. And those are reflections of discipline and love that you have for yourself, and your body feels good and it thanks you. So yeah, beauty, people like to say, is subjective, and it really is, because we're all different and we all are carrying different things that make us beautiful. But again, back to the beginning, like maximizing those things that we have, maximizing the opportunities that we have, maximizing the gifts that God gave us, and allowing that to really be the center of attention, getting in touch with our uniqueness, like sitting with yourself. And I know I'm unique. Like there's always been things about me that maybe it made me insecure sometimes, that I was like, oh, this is different. But I have grown to love myself. And I will not lie to you and say that I always did. I always had confidence, but there was definitely things that made me insecure that took a little bit more work. But I look at myself now and I'm like, I put in the effort, and I truly like am a happier woman for it. I attract better experiences for it. I attract better people for it. For every single ounce of self-love that I've poured into my beauty, both spiritually, mentally, physically, like all of that, like what I look like it all comes back to me. So I really think that using that beauty as women is one of God's greatest gifts to us. And again, it doesn't have to look the same. It's just that beauty is a translation of your inner world and how you're expressing yourself in your clothes, in your outfit. You don't have to wear makeup, just like how you're expressing yourself in general. Tattoos, I love my tattoos. I think I already said clothes, jewelry, like all of it. Express yourself, be free, and nurture that part of you that wants to be beautiful, that wants to play, that wants to be in beautiful places. Just find that beauty for yourself, whatever it is, like find it, because it's really life-changing. But yeah, this was a great revelation to have and a great little thing to share. And I just felt like talking about it because I really was like, yeah, I was lazy for a little while. And I think just finding things that make life beautiful again has made me so much happier, because when I was the saddest, I was not surrounded by beauty. I was not in beautiful places. I was not around beautiful people. I was not feeling loved or beautiful. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I was feeling dark and empty inside, and it reflected off me, and nothing can hide that. So I think that just taking care of yourself so your inner light can shine and you can feel like the best version of yourself and attract the life that you really, really deserve. I think beauty is at the forefront of that. And so, yeah, I'm very sorry about all the points that I probably started and didn't finish. It's typical, but I still hope that some of this resonated with you. I'm happy it worked out, because I really kind of came in here blind and I left my notebook upstairs. But yeah, I think I'll put this on Spotify. Again, I'm back on IG, so I'll link my Instagram down below. sophiacianciulli, I'm back. I took a month hiatus, so we can link her Sophiology podcast at Instagram. Look at me plugging myself. I've really come a long way. And then my podcast is on Spotify. But yeah, love you guys. Thanks if you listened. Let me know if anything resonated, or if you agree, if you disagree. Let's talk. But yeah, love you guys. I'll talk to you guys the next time I have something to say. Ta-ta.